why don't you share? We can start sharing with each other and share in the chat where you're calling in from, zooming in from. Zoom. And what do you want to get out of this being together today? I always like to start that way when I remember to, so that everyone's setting their intention. You're more likely to get what you want when you set your intention. And also, if you share it with me, then I'm more likely to address it and make it so that you get exactly what you want. So where are you zooming from? And what do you want to get from our time together? Denver.
Julia,
Yeah.
can you please remove me from the Zoom call for a minute, and I'll just join back because there is some issue on my in my connection, and I'm not able to leave.
Okay. Who is that?
Sorry, it's Rachna. Sorry, Rachna. It's me.
Why can't I see? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So let's see. Remove you
yeah,
all together.
yeah.
Okay. I'll see
I'll
you
join
back
back.
in a minute. Don't report. No. Okay. Okay. Krista wants to get refocused on what's important in my messaging. That spirit is what heals. Okay. Um, Dr. Vicky Joe is in Cyprus, looking for a different slant to attract clients. Well, we'll definitely get a different slant today. Davina, hello, Renaissance entrepreneurs from Los Angeles. Put a package to create instant cash flow. Okay. Well, maybe we'll inspire you somehow today for that. Anyone else? Where are you calling from? And Amy from Minnesota to find out that unique message that brings all my talents together to find my peeps. Good place to be. Sophia, did you bring any of those ice cream bars for us? Bernadette still in Grayton, still amalgamating. Ooh, amalgamating 5 syllables, all my niches into a coherent whole. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys can keep on sharing that where you're calling it up. Ulysses. What's DFW? Dallas Fort Worth. See, I know, I'm not that dumb. What are you getting? Well, Chris told me earlier, always gets a little nugget when we're together. So that's always helpful. Yeah, because whenever we're together, I'm always reminding you to connect in with your soul and to not do things that feel terrible to you. There's got to be another way. Um, and to really focus on what you're meant to be doing in this life. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. And let's get this thing rolling. Okay, here we are. It's Synergize. And it's all about transcending the niche and transforming the world. And I want to just give you a little heads up. I've been playing a lot with the AI visuals. Spent hours creating special visuals for this presentation, but it was so fun. And so I decided to put created on midjourney.com on the ones that are AI generated. Just, I think, so that you can kind of see what's possible there. But we start with our, presentation logo, as it were. This image took 100 revisions before I got to this exact thing. So it's not quite like you just tell it what to do and it does it. It's a process just like any other art process, really. So in this Synergize presentation, you'll discover why trying to niche is keeping your business from growing the way your soul wants it to. Like if you're trying to niche still. I mean, I know that I went back and forth for many years on this before I came to, wait, we're not supposed to do that. The reason, and niche, okay, some people might not even know what that is like selecting an existing group of people or existing service and putting yourself in that box so that, quote, people understand you. But we'll get into why you're not even interested in those people that don't understand you. Okay. The reason you learned so many things and the key to uniting them in a way that makes you a more powerful transformational leader. So there is a reason you learn. It's not because you're scattered, and we'll get into that. And why the standard marketing steps others insist you take won't work for you and what to do instead. I've been through it all myself. So who is this for? Holistic healers are like the first people with a bunch of modalities, right? Mystics and shamans tend to be, out of the box. Spiritual business owners, following a spiritual path through your business. New Renaissance entrepreneurs, multi-talented, highly creative entrepreneurs out to change the world. Transformational leaders, multi-modality magicians, artists and creatives. I think I covered the gamut with that. Which are you? Oh, you can share with me in the chat. It's always good to have a little interaction. If you relate to any of those descriptions. Really, the first clients that I had back in the 90s were, well, one of the first was a holistic, like a psychologist with a bunch of different modalities. And that's where I learned about different modalities, actually, back in 95. So likely you're here because you have difficulty attracting people who really get you, your value, and everything that you do. There's a reason you want to share everything you do, because you want to attract people who like everything you do. You want it to be cohesive. You're multi-talented and you don't want to squeeze yourself into a tiny niche. Like, please don't make me, the general thing is like, only do this tiny thing, and then later you can let them know about what a genius you are. And maybe that might be a good idea for some people, but actually there's something about having a variety of talents that's attractive. Okay, so to people who have a variety of talents. So yeah, you have such cool offerings, but you don't know how to share them cohesively. So we just want to get centered here and kind of let go of the traditional marketing that we've learned in the past. If we hadn't already let it go, if we haven't already said forget about it. Sometimes, you forget about it, and then you go to somebody's event, you go, oh, maybe I'm supposed to do all that. That's what's been going on with me for the last 20 years. Like, I keep going back and forth, though I get smarter every time. Like, oh, there was that part that you didn't want, or running screaming from the room, which happens with me. Not always am I screaming. Sometimes I silently run out of the room at those events. Well, here's some examples of multi-modality people. A healer with a variety of modalities, right? Like Reiki, Feng Shui, Qigong, massage, herbology, sound healing, and whole food nutrition. And I swear, people come to me and they're like, well, I do Reiki. I also do Feng Shui. I also do Qigong. I have a massage business. I have the herbology thing. I'm selling some stuff, right? Do I need a different website for each of these things? Wow, that would be crazy making, right? I had one client that was 111 modalities. Well, you can't have 111 websites. That would be crazy. How could you manage all that? They're a life coach, background in energy healing, physical therapy, yoga, music, accounting, psychology. Like sometimes we look at these things and go, well, they're not related at all, but I'll promise there is a way to relate them. Say a writer who can also do book design, soul readings, distance healing, publishing, art therapy. Or a songwriter. I like the healer thing, right? Healing music, energy healing, creative self-expression, channeled message from your soul into a song. Wouldn't that be nice? So welcome. I'm Julia Steggy, the magical marketer. And if you got a lot going on, but you dream of being able to express yourself cohesively and attract your tribe, the people that love everything that you're up to and really find you fascinating, you're in the right place. And I'll be sharing some ways that you can attract and engage them from the soul. So my passion is helping spiritual entrepreneurs to share their essence in ways that attract their soul tribe online. So that's really, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that I'm into that, but I feel like it's very empowering to have your own business, to attract people that get you and that are aligned with you and that get all the weird stuff that you're doing. And even if they don't get it all, even if they're like, ooh, I don't really understand that, they're compelled to listen and check it out because they trust you, because they're aligned with you, because they get your motivations. Over the years, I noticed that my tribe has many modalities and talents, some that they rarely share. So like I said, back in 95, when that first client, she was a psychologist, she still is, she has all these modalities. I was like, oh, I didn't really think about it. Wow, that's really brilliant the way she does that. The next person that had multiple modalities didn't clarify it for me. I think I must have had like 100 people come through here with multiple modalities before I realized it was a thing. Some people are slow to get it, but it's because nobody else was talking about it. They were saying you had to niche. So no one was saying, oh, if you have multiple modalities, this is what you do. And it's not that we're scattered or indecisive. That is not why we have so many modalities. We're highly creative and able to combine different things to come up with new solutions. That's what we're doing. We're coming up with new ways to help people. We're compelled. I noticed that my clients and I have multiple talents and modalities, but we're often dissuaded from sharing them. This is when I was Glenda, the Good Witch of the South in The Wiz. I'm singing If You Believe. And I really didn't understand how just singing in front of an audience just like this with a little bunch of background girls could actually inspire people. But it actually happened. It really changed me to have this experience of this woman being wheeled up to me in a wheelchair right after this performance. And she didn't say a word. She just grabbed my hand like this and just went like, that was so, she just didn't say anything, right? So I'm not going to put words into her mouth, but she just was beaming. And I was like, well, if this woman who's in a wheelchair, obviously she has struggles in life, can be uplifted like that just for me singing, and I wasn't even on key the whole time, maybe that opens the door for different ways to inspire people. Maybe we don't have to only ever do one thing. Maybe I don't have to be Celine Dion just to get out there and sing also. Though I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind being able to sing like that. Okay, So we've got our peeps, we get out there, we start sharing our stuff, and immediately they start giving us their opinion. Okay. So this does make it more difficult. They say, don't give up your day job. I hate hearing that. Sometimes they do it as a joke. Like you're just singing a little thing, don't give up your day job. It's really discouraging. I'm just saying, don't ever say that to me. Okay, they say you need to specialize. They started telling me this when I was 15, You're going to have to choose. You're going to either be a writer or a designer or a social worker. You're not going to be all those things. They kept making me choose. In college, you have to choose a major in college, and then you have to choose, well, first you have to choose a school, then you have to choose a major, right? Then you have to choose like, well, my major was graphic design, and they were like, well, you got to choose whether you do magazine design or logos. It's like, what? Why? You should not be too weird. Has anyone here heard that one? Or too radical? Like, ooh, that's a little radical. That's uncomfortable for me. Or you can't do too many things. Like my coach that was like, just tell them about the one thing and do the other things later or something. You need to create a narrow niche. And it's not even that you need to create a niche, you need to fit into a niche, is what I should say there, because the niche already exists. That's what makes it clear. And sure, people, they say the riches are in the niches or whatever. But it's about fitting into something that exists. And when you're cutting edge, you really just can't do that. It runs counter to what you're doing. You're not Hemingway. Okay. Thank God I'm not Hemingway or Picasso or Celine Dion. That doesn't mean I shouldn't be out there doing creative stuff, does it? No, nor it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be out there doing your creative stuff. Your complex offering is wrong. They'll say like, no one will understand that. But how do they really know? Just because they don't understand it, it doesn't actually mean nobody will understand you. As I've said before, my SEO plugin tells me never to use 3-syllable words or longer, because only 20% of the population understands 3-syllable words or bigger. It's like, what? That was shocking to me. The word syllable has 3 syllables in it. But they're assuming that we're not appealing to that 20%, which would be plenty of people. I mean, 20% of the population in the United States. How many people is that? About 60,000 or 600,000? 600,000 probably. Do what I say, not what your intuition tells you. But wait, I got guidance to do this. Well, it's wrong. So we put her away, and bless her on her way. Bless you. Goodbye. We don't need to take any of this advice. Because if we do take that advice, we'll be stunting the growth of our own business in the way that we're meant to. We're supposed to be going out in our own way and thwarting your ability to transform. Well, it doesn't say here. To transform lives is really what it's supposed to say there. Oh, there it does. If we're really actually trying to solve the problems of the world in new ways. So, we can't follow what they're saying, contrary to the advice of other marketers. I've been helping my clients to unite multiple modalities and talents under one cohesive brand over the last 20 years. It's not a niche. I'll get to that in a bit, but the key there is if it's really cutting edge, it doesn't have a niche yet, you're going to invent it. Sometimes I'll call it the ultimate niche, but it doesn't exist already. So it's not something that you're fitting into. I have come to realize I'm a new Renaissance entrepreneur on a mission to help other new Renaissance entrepreneurs to attract their soul tribe and solve the problems facing humanity and have more fun. Oops. I'm not even the only one talking about the new Renaissance, turns out, right? For those who are like, what are you talking about? The original Renaissance sprang out of the Middle Ages and was rooted in humanism and became manifest in art, architecture, politics, science, and literature, and in the combining of these areas. The original Renaissance man was Da Vinci, who explored all these interests. So I looked it up. Renaissance. It's a 3-syllable word, but here it looks like a 2-syllable. You could say Renaissance, and it's 2. The Renaissance was a fervent period of European cultural, artistic, political, and economic rebirth following the Middle Ages. The Renaissance promoted the rediscovery of classical philosophy, literature, and art, and often the combining of these things. What I say, in addition to this, is that the new Renaissance will provide answers to the age-old problems facing humanity and the planet. This will come by allowing our multiple talents, abilities, and modalities to be conjoined in new, creative, cutting-edge solutions, including metaphysical modalities that we didn't even know about back in the first Renaissance. So there's a lot of, especially a lot of the healing modalities that we have now, and the metaphysical modalities that we didn't even know about that stuff back then. We're able to bring that in to solve our problems. When you're a new Renaissance entrepreneur, you're meant to have a positive impact through your rather complex cutting edge work, but you have to do things your way. You got to stand your ground. You got to know what your ground is, actually. So we'll talk about that today. Do you have multiple gifts, talents, and modalities you would like to unify under one cohesive umbrella? I like the way that this Mid-Journey drawing did an umbrella that is like a tree that grows out of the ground. It grows out of the ground of your, what I'll tell you later, unifying principle, what that is. So there's the grounding of what you're really about, and out of it grows your unified set of a variety of different offerings. Or are you highly creative with a seemingly endless flow of ideas in your areas of interest, right? Possibly including those metaphysical skills. I've noticed that I was learning all sorts of metaphysical things sort of in the background when I was building my graphic design career. And it didn't occur to me to combine those until I was well into it. But boy, they work well together. It's much more fun too. When you're a new Renaissance entrepreneur, you can't really follow other people for very long. And you've got to be careful about who you are following, if you're following anyone. You've got to check in with yourself and know, like, am I being guided off my path, or am I on my path? Am I being helped to traverse my path, or am I being thrown off of it altogether? Oh, put new Renaissance in the chat if this is you, if you feel like you're relating to what I'm saying, putting down here. I like the way Midjourney did these trees. Here's some real people. This is Lilith. She had a a lot of difficulty expressing her unique self. She's a visionary, mystic leader, consciousness geek, movement psychotherapist, mother, grandmother, queer radical witch, teacher, healer, tantra trainer, app designer. These are all her words to describe herself. And what she did was she I together we identified that empowerment for irreverent mystics, like irreverent mystics are her clients. The fact that they're irreverent mystics is is a point of attraction, is a unifying principle. I'll get into that. And empowerment too. She created a community of her irreverent mystics. With Julia's help, I was able to share my essence online and attract a tribe of irreverent mystics, something I've been struggling with for years. Yay! Once we get it together and we know what our foundation is and we're able to express it, people are just coming in. This is Rich Gurman, entrepreneur. He's actually a speaker now. I have to add that here. Joint venture coach, paddleboarder, podcaster, writer, photographer, ocean advocate, filmmaker, musician, health coach, law of attraction coach. We put it all together under his philosophy or his message, which is no ocean, no us, no ocean, no us. KNOW. Now he's on a speaking circuit for environmentalist type workshops and stuff. This is Dr. Cheryl, naturopathic physician, health coach, teacher, Bowen body worker, cranial sacral therapy, prescription supplements, medical biomagnetic therapy, and app designer too. Or me, graphic designer, illustrator, digital artist, website designer, brand channeler, copywriter, law of attraction coach, energy healer. I actually got a few certifications. Actor, singer, painter, gardener, teacher, novelist, course creator, and mosaic creator. I just started doing a mosaic in my background, in my backyard today. Transformational leader. I'll take it. So one reason you learn so many skills and modalities is because you were guided by your soul to cause transformation at a higher level. So that's one reason many of us have gone, it's like, oh, if I had that one, I could really help my people. You know, you learn about this modality and you think, oh, that would help them with this. Also, because you're naturally creative and love exploring self-expression. That's another reason. There's other reasons. I'm just kind of laying out a couple here. But when you're naturally creative, whether you're a particularly an artist or not, but you have a creative essence to you. You like to explore things, new things, learn new things, and see how you can express yourself differently. And that's why I've learned so many different artistic modalities. I found that, I'll just have to say, Midjourney is able to help me express myself more clearly and quickly than I think I've ever been able to do before. You may even feel called to save the world, because you can. You can. I mean, I don't think that you would have that desire if you couldn't. And sometimes it's just by transforming the life of one individual that you can really impact the world. Because if that individual is super connected, it's like when I was working with Ian Van Zant. She was the one with all the millions, but I helped her to get those millions back. That's me directly helping those millions, as I see it. So this is how we feel about the marketing, though. We want to get out to the people, but what You want me to do what? The marketing strategies you've been taught just are like, sometimes they just lack integrity altogether. Just lie, you know, just lie a little. It'll work great. They don't really say that. I would like it if they did, but that's what they mean. Or like this guy, traditional business people and marketing advisors have different goals. Okay. So we don't need to disparage the guy. He just has a different purpose in life. And they don't understand. So I realize you're not likely to hire this guy as your coach, but he's just a good example of the influences out there against what we're trying to do. They don't understand your motivation. So it's not like just because Coca-Cola was able to sell 1 billion bottles of Coke around the world, despite the fact that it kills people, gives them diabetes and such. Just because they're able to do that with their marketing technique doesn't mean that you should use their marketing technique to get out to your millions. You absolutely shouldn't. Especially since you don't want to kill people. You don't need to brainwash anyone. This guy says, transformation, who cares? Just make more sales. Okay, I get where you're coming from, Mr. Man. Obviously, he can't guide me if that's what he thinks. So if you've, I mean, I'm exaggerating. The people out there who are advising us are really nice people, but they are their motivations are different. You got to understand what your motivations are first, and then select somebody who has similar motivations to support you. She's nice, very nice. She's trying to be helpful. And she's going to point out the standard marketing steps that you're supposed to do. Standard marketing steps don't work for you, though, because your goals are more complex than simple conversion. You're actually wanting to impact people's lives and maybe possibly their way of thinking. She says, simplify everything to get more people to buy. And then they say, but wait, I'm called to a higher purpose. And she's not wrong. More people might buy it if you simplify it and try to fit it into a niche. I mean, I used to say, well, I can't promise you that being authentic is going to make you more sales, but you'll feel more fulfilled, in the process. If you're not allowed to be authentic in your own business, I just don't even know what the point of life is, actually. So ignoring their advice and following your soul may feel like jumping into space, because you're at the cutting edge. So it is sort of like there's just only space out there. And they haven't done what you've done. There's nobody out there that's like, oh yeah, I did that. This is how you do it. When you've got all these different things going on and you're creating something totally unique. Wait, uh-oh, is it wise to do this? I've wondered. I really have wondered so many times. I wondered so many times that you don't have to wonder. It is wise, I promise you. It is wise to follow your soul, because if you don't trust your own soul, then who will? So what's the alternative to selecting a niche in the traditional way? Here's the answer. Discover and share your unifying principle. So this is my unique philosophic expression here. I studied revolutionary philosophy for 12 years. And what I noticed is that the philosophy your philosophy of life, or your philosophy of freedom, your philosophy of transformation, your beliefs around how the world should be, that those are the conversations that you're going to be wanting to have out in the world. And if you can identify your unifying principle, that is it's a philosophic principle that unites everything that you're up to. It unites all of your modalities, and it attracts your soul tribe to you, because it is it's like your point of attraction. So you come into this world with this principle already in place, is what it seems like to me. And that starting at a very young age, like I was 2 years old when this started for me, the unifying principle at that point was, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And I was really trying to figure it out. What am I? And I was trying to remember God putting me together. That I didn't remember that. I was like, I don't remember that. That's really the same person that I was when I was 2 singing Twinkle Little Star, though. Can you see that? There's something in all of us that unites us, how we are throughout the years. So, like what you were like when you were 2, 5, 7, 15, 22, 37, 43, 59, 62, 70. Like there's consistency there inside of all of the complexity of everything that we're doing in this material world. And it's your unifying principle that ties it all together. It's like your soul's purpose. People talk about that. So a unifying principle might be an approach, like all your modalities may be united in principle with nature. You may be like, everything that you're into is totally in concert with nature, right? I think Bernadette, that's you, right? Everything is nature. That's part of it for you. I realize it's magic too. Or it could be that all your modalities are united in principle with wholeness, body, mind, and spirit. It's like everything is whole, everything is one, everything is connected. So if you're having a healing crisis, it's a spiritual crisis. It's a crisis of the mind as well. So you may find that all of your modalities speak to that wholeness. Or it could be, you may have a variety of solutions that are all creative. I have a lot of creative solutions, right? That lead to a specific result like physical healing. Or in my case, clarity of purpose. Or you might have a variety of modalities that are all magical. When I chose the word magic, it was about 20 something years ago. I remember thinking, does magic relate to everything that I'm up to and everything I'll ever be up to? That's the query, really, that started all this. And I just went through everything that I was up to. I have like novels that I'm writing, and that wasn't a part of what I was sharing publicly at the time, but I was thinking, one day that'll happen, is that magical? And life is magic was my unifying expression, really, at that time. like Murtis. So Murtis has a bunch of different modalities, so many that it takes her 20 minutes to describe them. When we first met, and then she went to this luncheon at Agape. She really wanted to impress them. And somebody said, well, what do you do, Murtis? And she was launched into her 20-minute explanation and of all her different modalities. And she said, oh my gosh, their eyes literally glazed over. I watched as their eyes just went like, I said, okay, well, we're going to fix that. What we were able to do is identify some unifying principles for her. One unifying principle would be for her modalities, and one would be for her, let's say, her essence or her soul to express. They're very related. And so we came up with the moniker career mystic. I use metaphysical tools to empower career women to answer their spiritual calling at work, at home, and in the world. So metaphysical tools that empower people on their spiritual path is the unifying principle of her modalities. And then the unifying principle of her life is really to answer her spiritual calling and to help others to do the same. Specifically career women, that happens to be her people. So metaphysical tools that empower, basically, and answering your spiritual calling. And the fact that it was she had stuff that was like for relationships or feng shui and also career, so at work, at home, and in the world. You're not all a divided person. None of us really are. We're the same person. We went to work, and then we went to our community gathering, and then we came home. We're the same person. Some of my unifying principles: creativity, freedom, magic, new renaissance, self-expression. Might be even like if I had to choose one that was above all, self-expression, soul tribe attraction, transformation. I want all my work to have all of these. So your unifying principle enables you to cohesively share all that you do. So you can imagine, if we go back to Murtis, she's at that luncheon now. And even if she doesn't remember her exact thing that she says here, and somebody says, what do you do? She would remember I'm the career mystic, for one. So I'm a career mystic, and I work with a lot of different metaphysical tools to empower career women to follow on their spiritual path, whether they're at work or whether they're in their relationships or whatever it is that they're doing. So she can kind of just feel into, like, if all that I have to do is mention that they're metaphysical tools, and then I'm helping career women on their spiritual path, and it'll all kind of come out. So this also enables you to live a more soul-driven life. So if you're not trying to do these other things that people are saying to do that are really just, I don't know, polishing some weird niche that you didn't even care about to begin with. I always think about one of my clients who what she really wanted to do was help women who cancer survivors to heal themselves after the chemo and everything, and to become pain-free and free to move. She's like a physical therapist. But she was convinced by her coach, who happened to have been my coach too, to help golfers have a better swing. What kind of soul-driven life is that when you're helping golfers you don't even like golf? It's just they have money, and that's why your coach told you to do it, because you have access to them and they have money. That's not a great reason. Your unifying principle attracts your soul tribe. The reason that it attracts your soul tribe is because they're aligned with you on the soul level. The only way that they'll know who you really are is when you're sharing your unifying principle. Like, this is what's most important to me in the world. And now they know, well, I relate to that. That's most important to me in the world too. That's what your soul tribe says when they hear what you're really about. And you're going to be finally free to share what's most important to you instead of some made up thing. It's your soul's purpose. How do you transform people's lives? I think is what it really is. Or how can you change the world? Or how can they change the world? So to recap this, the 3 keys to attracting a tribe who loves everything you're up to, including all your varied modalities and certifications, is 1, to clarify your soul's essence. That is to get yourself into a space, a safe space, to identify and say, like, what's most important to my soul right now? And what is the essence of my soul? And what are the words that come out when I say, what is the essence of my soul? I call that soul diving. And 2 is to identify your unifying principles. And I noticed that what is that word? Where you have the first letters of the word is up, unifying principle, up. It's like an ascension. So you want to identify your unifying principles the way that Murtis did. And then share your up far and wide. So share the unifying principles, have that conversation around those unifying principles, and notice that the people who are attracted to that are aligned with you at the deepest level. So there's challenges you may experience as you begin this journey of the soul, or as you continue, as it were, this journey of the soul. There are definitely challenges. I've experienced all these challenges myself. And one of them is not finding time and space to dive into your soul and discover what's most important to you and why. So often we don't even give ourselves the time. Like, it's not important somehow. But it is. Or hiring an expert who guides you in the wrong direction. Okay. So sometimes we think, oh, we're not even thinking, oh, I should be going into my soul. We're thinking, oh, I gotta market my business. I should hire an expert to help me. I don't know anything about this, right? And then you get her. Okay, so this is an actual picture of my coach, but she looks just like this. And is the same one that told my other client to do the golf thing. And she said, you can't use the word magic. That's like what I tell my clients not to do. Magical marketing. That's terrible. You can't use that. Yeah. She tried to convince me, but I was like, luckily I'd already been using magical marketing for 6 years. And people were calling me out of the blue saying, yeah, I contacted you because of that word magic. So she couldn't, I was standing on my ground. Remember the polar bear standing on his iceberg? I was standing on my ground when she said this. And because I was on my ground, she was actually able to turn it around and actually help me. And that's when she said, hey, did you choose the hummingbird for your logo because you extract the essence of your clients? And I was like, bing, perfect. Yes. Thank you for noticing that that's exactly what I'm doing. And that those words I hadn't thought of yet to describe how why the hummingbird is my symbol. She didn't come up with it, but she helped. We bless them. We bless them for what they've been able to do in order to help us. So the second challenge is to get tied up in your brain. So this I've done a lot. Trying to figure out how to share your offerings, but everything seems unrelated. Somebody the other day was like, oh, I'm looking at all my stuff and it's just so different, and people are calling you scattered. Like the copywriter I was thinking of hiring until she said, you're just as scattered as your clients. And I thought, see ya, like, really? And you may find that because of the advice you're getting, you want to give up. Actually, like Kate. Kate was about to give up. It shocks me that because she's such just a blessing to her tribe. How could she possibly give up, right? But she was ready to give up. That she's an astrologer, sound healer, Ayurvedic practitioner, psychologist, massage therapist, studio artist. And she also knows a lot of different metaphysical processes. She said she spent tens of thousands of dollars on marketing coaches who didn't get me. And I was about to give up when she met me. I fell in love as soon as I heard her say, forget everything you were ever told about marketing. Well, that is what I say. Forget everything that you ever were told about marketing. Like your soul will remember the stuff that's important. She said, what a relief. Julia helped me promote my authentic self. And in a short time, I was able to double my prices, enroll 16 new clients, go from deer in the headlights to goddess in the spotlight, and that without having a website yet. What did she do? She created a group around her unifying principle, which she calls it Goddess Girlfriends. But it's just basically, wouldn't it be fun to get a bunch of metaphysical women together and just do stuff? Do some astrology, do some new and full moon rituals, right? And so it's her unifying principle is really the goddess experience. Goddess girlfriends, though. So it's not just like the goddess alone, though I should have put her with some girlfriends, right? It's not just the goddess alone, it's the goddess with girlfriends. Everything after that fell into place for her. It's amazing. It's so beautiful to see. Challenge number 3 is feeling shy to share your authentic self, online especially, and winding up not getting out there with your message. So sometimes the way it looks is like, well, I can't niche the thing down and I can't do the thing the marketers are telling me, so I'm not going to do anything. Or I've gotten help and I'm at that point, I'm about to start sharing it and I know, what my thing is, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid that they're going to persecute me. Well, this is just like Michelle. I swear she felt like it was going to kill her to be authentic. She really fought me. We didn't come to fisticuffs, but there was a little bit of shouting, I think, at one point. She was totally afraid to show her authentic self. So this is her trance dancing that I put together in Photoshop. When we were together at the beginning and I was asking her what's important to her. She told me all these metaphysical things that she was really into and that her favorite thing is trance dancing. But her website, she looked like a librarian on her website. After we finally agreed to put her out there authentically, her sales shot up by 600% off of her website. And then I ran into her a couple of years later and she said, I'm just embodying myself more authentically since we worked on my site. Don't be scared to share your real self. I would love to help you discover your unifying principle and attract your tribe and transform more lives. And I'll tell you, I've come, even though this is totally brand new and I've never really taught this way before, I've been doing it for 20 years. It just became more clear what it is and what's happening here. And I've never taught a class that includes this before. And so I'm going to, so that you can impact the world in your own unique way, the way you're meant to. That is how I impact the world, is through you. And the best way I can help you is guiding you in my unique process to discover and share your unifying principle. We're in unifying principles. So announcing an event. Now this is next week. So timing is of the essence. I just didn't want to push it out too far. So multi-modality marketing is what I'm calling this. And it's a 3-day event, a transformational virtual retreat, where during 3 days together, you'll discover the keys to marketing all your modalities cohesively and attracting your soul tribe. So I really feel like this unifying principle is the key to attracting aligned clients. Just check out the times, because it's not like a typical 3-day event. It's a 3-hour event on day 1, a 6-hour event on day 2, and a 3-hour event on day 3. So we're meeting on the afternoon of Tuesday the 5th from 1 to 4, Wednesday the 6th from 10 to 4, and Thursday the 7th from 1 to 4, and this is Pacific time. I realize that's super late if you're in Europe. It's ridiculous. It's like if you're in Central European time, it starts at like 10 and goes till 1 in the morning. But if you can arrange your day to be awake at that time, take an early nap, it might be possible. By the way, the website, I'm going to put it in here. Multimodalitymarketing.com. And let's see if that even works. It goes out to another link. So if somebody wants to try that and then put the full link in there, that might help. So imagine attracting divinely aligned clients online without having to fit into a niche. I mean, this alone, I'm really the only one that's talking about this. Nobody else. If you learn of anyone talking about this, I want to meet them. But pretty much every single marketer out there is either unconsciously telling people to find their niche, and just like, because that's what everyone does, or they're purposefully doing that. Thanks, Judy. Yeah. So imagine not having a niche, okay? But you're attracting your divinely aligned clients, like Lilith, who created her own tribe of irreverent mystics. It's not like you could look up irreverent mystics before she did this and find her. Hi, Sherelle. And she's free to engage them all with her magical modalities, right? So she discovered her unifying principle, put it out there, got her tribe, and they're all irreverent mystics. I mean, she's like in bliss. Imagine easily starting conversations that naturally attack your soul tribe and inspire them to engage with you. What if you could do that? Like, you're just like, instead of taking 20 minutes, right? Like Kate Helmers. she said for 10 years, she kept trying to get, she's really an out there energy healer. Okay. But the people she helps are these highfalutin executives. And so everyone that was advising her was saying, don't bring up the stuff about the energy. But then how was she able to distinguish herself? And so we discovered her unifying principle, and she was able to share herself in a way that attracted $40,000 in business in 1 week just by attending a cocktail party and a dinner. I thought that was amazing. She didn't even go out to get business. She just had it now. She just was able to express it in a way that was in integrity with her energy work that she does. Well, actually, her one of her unifying principles is intuition. Intuition is what unites what she does, and which helps her executives to make faster decisions. So she's able to express that now without sounding, insane, which was the concern. I mean, when you're dealing with executives, it's best to be careful about that kind of thing. Imagine clearly sharing all the unique things you do in a cohesive, authentic way that fascinates your peeps, right? Like they're like, wow, what's that? That's what happened to Murtis. She was at this, I told her to go to Sears, not Sears, but Macy's or some kind of like place where they have a bunch of makeup, that they're selling. And so they have all these makeup artists there and they'll do your makeup for free. So I said, before you go to your photo shoot, just go to one of those places and have them do your makeup. And so she went and she did that. And the lady said, well, what do you do? And she told her new message. And somebody like 10 feet away turned around and said, what did you say you do? Walked over and said, can I have your card? I mean, literally from 10 feet away. So from eyes glazing over, taking 20 minutes to, I'm just sharing my unifying principle, and people are like 10 feet away are asking me for my card. That kind of clarity, that's what you really want. And then all of your marketing flows from that. All your messaging flows from that. Your website flows from that. Your conversations that you have with people. Imagine creating marketing that not only attracts your ideal clients, but transforms the lives of your tribe. How about that? Most of our marketing isn't going to result in sales. So then why not have that marketing have a purpose besides just getting you sales, like transforming people's lives? Like when I share that you don't have to niche, and that helps you see there's another way to do marketing and you can actually do your business. Do you like me and my teen angel? Beauty school dropout, no graduation day for you. That was me practicing for that play. I played teen angel in Greece. And you know what? I didn't know when I was doing these plays. I haven't done them since COVID, but I will again. But I didn't know when I was doing these that they could have an impact on my work. It's just like I was gonna, I don't know, I did it because it was gonna be fun, but I knew that it does. And so far, I just tell you guys about it and sing to you. But I do believe that even the things that we can't figure out how they fit in do fit in. And sometimes we don't know until like a few years later how they fit in. Just trust that they fit in and that you're supposed to be doing them. I noticed that my whole garden, but this grassy, junky thing behind me is completely transformed since this picture was taken and is gorgeous. I should like do another picture like this with the new garden behind it. So this is what's going to happen at our event. Wait, Bernadette, are you in here? There you are. Hiding. See? Hiding behind somebody, I don't even remember who that is. And I'm trying to remember these people's names. This was in 2014. when I did my last live event. But here's what's happening at the event. So we get together online now. I have to keep moving my little thing of pictures of you guys. So on the first day, what we do, and this is in the afternoon on Tuesday, is we go soul diving. Access your highest inspiration without pressure to succeed. I feel like that's what this woman is doing. She doesn't feel the pressure to succeed at all. Discover the authentic expression of your soul in a supportive environment where your uniqueness is celebrated. So nobody's looking at you going, you're doing what? Like, nobody does that here. Nobody, if they do, scolded. No one ever does. No, I don't have to scold anyone. Identify the words that resonate with your deepest intention and attract the people you were born to serve. So those words, like the word magic, has attracted me thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. When you discover those words, I mean, it's not like you get them out of your brain. I promise you. You have to turn off the brain and turn on the heart, and then they come out. I mean, we leave the brain on well enough to know what a word is and that it's a word. It's actually a word. And on day 2, we're going to spend a little more time. So day 1 is just 3 hours soul diving. On day 2, we're going to get into what is the unifying principle and just start sharing it, really. So identify what's most important to you and your soul tribe so you become irresistible to them. And discover what cohesively unites all of your modalities, certification, talents, and activities with your soul's purpose and connects you with your tribe. So that may sound, like a lot for one little word to do all that, but it does. It's amazing. It does. Clarify ways to express your unifying principle that transform the lives of your ideal clients before they even hire you. So we're going to look at how does our unifying principle, how do we ground that in the practices that we offer through our marketing? Okay. I know, right? Why not transform lives? That's how your marketing becomes really sustainable and fulfilling, because it's your purpose. And so you get to fulfill your purpose consciously through your marketing. I mean, that's just, of course, then the universe is going to bring you the right people. Oh, on day 2, we've got Christy coming in the morning. So whilst we're to support us in clarifying what's going on with our soul, Christy draws while connecting with you on an intuitive level. And then she applies her artistic skills to draw a unique image that brings your subconscious thoughts to the surface so you can find your own answers. And in this process, you'll finally understand what's holding you back, get unstuck, and start moving forward to a more fulfilled life. She does this with individuals, but it also relates to everyone in the group. It's like, this is what the drawing looks like. And it's like, it's so fascinating because she'll say, well, what is this woman right here? And they'll immediately, like, there's no pause. Oh my God, Aunt Lil. It's my Aunt Lil. And she always said such loving things. She's got a heart for lips. But she told me, that I have to worry about money, or when I'm just making that up, right? But that's the kind of thing that happens. So we'll have a little Christy time with us. And then on the 3rd day, we're going to be going into how to share our soul. Choose fun, fulfilling, and sustainable ways to share your soul and attract your tribe and transform their lives. Practice with others in a safe environment, right? Expressing your unifying principle and receive instant caring feedback and support. We'll probably do that also on every day. We're going to have breakout rooms every day. We want you to have time to connect with other people and discover how AI can help you more swiftly and beautifully express your essence and engage your tribe online so you can grow your spiritual business your way. I know. What? AI can help me express my soul. Yeah, I'll show you. But you can see it already. Can you see it in all of these images? And Nicole is going to be there. Our wonderful Nicole. She's going to do a little calibration celebration. It's an opportunity to get cleared of what's in the way of identifying your unifying principle. So she does some like energy clearing stuff with us. Also, when you register, you're going to get this program. What you're going to call it? Create names, titles, and taglines that attract your soul tribe online. So you'll be able to take your words that you work out on day one and then run them through the what you're going to call it process to come up with your titles. Titles that are united with your unifying principle. Yay! Value $4.97. Also, Facebook group where you can connect with others of like mind and heart before, during, and after the event, get feedback on your assignments, and receive answers to your questions. And it stays open after. So if you make beautiful friends while you're there, you can still hang out after and connect. And mostly, you know, it's mostly active during around the event. And you can go in there and find, oh, who was that person, and find that person and connect with them. I always like doing that myself. Oops. And then 2 weeks after the event, I'm going to host a mentoring call so you can ask questions and get feedback on what you created during and after the event. So I like to, like, we're going to do a lot in that 3 days, but I like to just take a couple weeks and then come back in a kind of a mentoring call, answer any questions, brainstorm, what are you going to do with this next? That kind of thing. So that it's not all over. It ain't over till it's over. Okay, so here's what you get. If you decide to do this with us next week, 3-day live virtual retreat where you can receive guidance, coaching, and get cleared and meet with others on the same path. Get the retreat. I value that at $1,200. And then think about it, having that unifying principle is going to help you for the rest of your life, no matter what you're doing, because it's your soul. It's not even just your business. It's like to get to clearly, succinctly, and cohesively express what you're about, no matter what you're doing. The multi-modality marketing playbook, which you can use over and over again to tap into your soul. A special group calibration with Nicole, value $100. The soul clarity drawings with Christy, value $100, I say. Private Facebook group, value $100. That instant bonus, what you're going to call it, I value that at $4.97. The instant bonus, oh, Branding from the Heart ebook. I forgot to put that in there. Actually, when our electricity went out last night, I was working on that slide and it disappeared. But you get my Branding from the Heart ebook, which takes you through all the steps of my, branding steps I take my clients through so that you can take your unifying principle and express it in your brand. Also the live mentoring call, value $100, and yes, event recordings. So if you can't come to every single session and be there all the whole time, we're going to be doing it inside of Kajabi, and then as soon as the thing is over, the recordings get posted within 15 minutes. It's a miracle. So all those recordings are available afterwards. The value is $21.91, but this is just $2.97 for the 3 days. And you can get it at multimodalitymarketing.com. This guy says, oh, I want to be one of the first 10. Oh, yeah. So I had to say first 10, but actually I just say register during this webinar or first 10. I don't know. I changed my mind. The first people that register get first dibs. This is what I'm saying. So there's the session where I'm coaching people on their unifying principle. There's a session where Nicole is calibrating people and clearing from blocks. And there's a session from Christy's soul drawing. And so the first to register get first dibs on that stuff. First dibs. Some questions, recordings, yes. I gave you the start and end times. Breaks, yes. Questions, yes. Right, it's interactive. Yes, you'll be able to connect with others. The bonus program you get right away when you register. Oh, this private session thing, I keep forgetting about that. I'm going to have a special offer for a private session. So if you decide that you want my private help on this as well, it's going to be discounted price. I'll make that available to you. Other questions, post in the chat or raise your hand. Let's do it. Yay. Does anyone have any thoughts, questions about what we talked about today so far and or the event? Or just want to share some thoughts that you've had about it? Let's go to Vina.
Hello, you probably can't see me because I am a vampire. It's just, yeah. So I'm in the new Renaissance Business School. So I want to be one of the first people because I really, 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 really need it. So how do you do that?
Well, we're gonna give first shrift to the people who register. So one thing that Davina is referring to is that we have a school. It's called the New Renaissance Business School. It's a year-long school where it's about creating your new Renaissance business your way with all your multiple skills and talents, unifying them under one cohesive whatever entity that you want to do through whatever activities that it is that you're inspired. And then I give away all my stuff, all the live programs and everything go with them as free bonuses. So here's the thing. If you really have the intention, Davina, you just write me and say, I would really like, so you get to choose one of the three. Now I'm giving first dibs to the ones that register and pay for the event. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to have a chance. Okay. So I know at school, I want the school people to have a chance too. Though, you know, Christy is going to be doing her soul drawings on the third Wednesday, the 16th. So you'll have that. And then there's next week on Tuesday morning is Christy's calibration call for the school. So she's doing 2 calibration calls next week. So just so that you know, inside the school, there's those opportunities. If anyone here is interested in learning more about the school, you can just put school in the chat and I'll follow up with you about that. But you just email me, Davina, and you say, you know, I'd really like to be in on the soul drawing next time or something like that. And then we'll put you on the list. That's how it works. Or once you register, if you're registering, you're not in the school, you can email me and say, I would really like to get the clearing calibration from Nicole or something like that. Okay, does that answer your question, Davina?
Yes, it does.
Anything else I can help you with today?
If I could just magically just leave this life and go on to my super life.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
all that I'll have to say about that is that everything is in its purpose.
I'm having a hard time with that because I hear it a lot. Oh, you're in transition, and
Not
you'll
even the
see the
transition, Davina. There's a reason that you're where you are. And it's
yes.
not about making mistakes. It's about having followed the guidance that you had. And that
Hmm.
there's actually nothing wrong with where you are. So we can stop making it wrong that you're where you are and look at, okay, this is a part of it. This is what I'm trying to say. It may seem completely unrelated what you're doing. Like, I just want a different life. And I understand. I do. And I don't think that what we're doing is random like that.
Oh,
I
definitely not.
I mean, it may be, you know, that the tenacity or something like that that you learned and sticking with it, or um, just the things that we become in order to deal with what we have to deal with, and then how we can help others later. We go through stuff on purpose, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, when you put it like that, yeah, that makes sense to me. That I'm going through this so that I can teach other women or whoever
Yeah.
wants to have a joyful life using their magical gifts,
Yes.
having fun, having, these just outrageous, just, I like to party. I like to dance. I like luxury, and I want other people that love to do that, that don't see a way to do it, to bring in, like you said, to bring in the magic. Because yes, there
Yeah.
was somebody that said, "Oh, no, 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 you got a niche." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I got it off."
Right. Well, they just
Hmm.
don't know there's another way. And
Hmm.
so, there's things that you can do in the meanwhile, uh, but like identifying that central unifying principle of your work, and then beginning to talk to people and gathering them around you, just online, and then start talking about, the things that you want to do, and then you start doing those things, and it just starts building from there. So we have a job, it like covers some of our bills, better than not, we're
Yeah.
blessing it, and then we're sharing our heart.
Yes. I feel one of my UPs is intuition
Yeah.
and magic
Yeah. Yeah.
and angels for
And
sure.
fun too, something about.
Oh, fun for sure. That's
Oh,
like actually the first thing, and you're the first person that allowed me to say, "Hey, you know what? You can be who you are," and which is fun, and make create wealth from that.
you absolutely can.
Hmm.
There's You absolutely can.
Yeah, you're the first person that gave me that permission to even think that way, because I thought that way for, like, I don't know, 20, 30 years, but I was ashamed to say, "Oh, I just want to be myself and make lots of money and have fun and go to parties and be pretty. That's what I want to do and make, and have this fabulous life." It's like, so, but now I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to say it. I just want to put it, in a way that my tribe gets it. They probably already got it.
Yeah, it's just like I was talking about Lilith and Kate. They both just created these communities around their unifying principle, and then they just started offering stuff, and people liked it. And next thing you know, that suddenly they're making money,
I
too.
got to get out there. I'm afraid I don't feel safe still.
Yeah, I understand that. And so that's what's going on. It's not the job. It's okay.
No, I don't feel safe. I feel whenever I begin to shine, I get shut down and persecuted.
Yeah, so you don't. That's not the truth. Though some of the people you've attracted in the past, well, let's just say that in their effort to help did the opposite. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt that they were trying to help and not just trying to make a buck. Okay, so they're trying to help, and they think they've been told a million times you have to niche everything down and you can't be just doing some creative thing that no one's ever heard of before, that like, and succeed. But that is the very thing that will succeed. I promise you. I've heard from people who are really successful, right? But they kind of hate the thing they're doing anymore, but it just was a niche. And now they're stuck in it. Well, I can't stop doing this. My kids are going to private school. I mean, I had this one woman who was like crying. She has a $500,000 course. I mean, that's what it makes her.
Wow.
But I can't stop doing this. My kids are going to private school. I was like, man, how does that even start? How do you start on a business that's not your soul? Well, I realized at that point, that's not how people create their businesses normally. They create a niche and they do the whole thing out of the brain, and it doesn't end up being an expression of what they really want, which is to be a spiritual leader.
Right. Soul alignment.
That's right. Both of those ladies that I met at the like 6-figure party kind of thing, crying to me. And I brought out the tiniest violin. I'm really feeling sorry about that. You're only making 500 grand from your class, and now you don't know how to follow your soul. I mean, they're in a very good position, but not feeling it. They're not feeling it any more than you are, Davina. But you're actually in a safer place because you're starting.
Yes.
And you can create everything from the ground up.
Yeah. Cool. With the wings.
Yeah, with some wings.
Yes. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, cool.
And you're safe around us. And
I will email you.
Experimenting and stuff like that around it so that you get to share it and test
Yeah,
it.
well, I'm glad you're offering it because it'll help me put the pieces together and get visible and start offering something that makes my soul sing.
That's right. That's what we want.
Cool.
That's what we want for everyone.
Yes.
Awesome.
Anyone
want to talk, share what's going on with you? What are you thinking? How do you relate? I want to hear from you. Raise your hand. I'm going to start calling on people. Wait,
I have a quick question.
I'm going to go to Amy first. Okay. Did you raise your hand, Amy? I thought I saw it.
I went like this.
I thought I saw like that. And then we'll get to Sherelle right after. Okay. And then Susan.
Julie, just wondering, with all the work I've done around soul and finding the words, by the time of this end of this retreat, are you going to be able to, we going to be able to have a unifying UP that we can share with you and you can help tweak it?
Yeah.
So that we can take that and go by the end of the retreat.
Yeah. So I'm going to distinguish something here, Amy. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to distinguish between a full branding process and what we're doing in the 3 days. Because what I've discovered and what I realized is that what this 3 days is the precursor to a full brand development. Okay. And so what comes after this in September, late September, I'm going to be starting my new Renaissance brand program, which is really diving into creating your world-changing message and your tribe-attracting message, and then how to integrate those in the rest of your brand. And then after that, I'm doing another course on the visual aspect of it, how to share your soul through visuals that attract your tribe and inspire a real connection. The benefit of the unifying principle is this is the conversation that you want to be developing and having with people. And before you even have a message that's like defined, and this is who I serve, and this is what I do, and this is how it's all cohesive, which is what we're doing in the next class. Before you have that, you have this is what's most important to me and what I really want to talk about. So I never figured that out before, that needed to be a part of the brand. But now that I know, now I have a separate thing, because I have this already thing about messaging that I'm going to take people through, that we really need to have that ground. It's not a message, though. Does that make sense, Amy? It's
Yeah, I feel like I put a little bit of the cart before the horse because I did all the branding work and I love my brand. I feel that was a download on me. I mean, we spoke,
yes,
Fitness for the Soul wasn't something I mentally created. That was
it's really good.
that was given to me,
Yeah.
and I found it took me 10 years to find the brand artist to really get that look.
Yeah.
And now I have a portion of what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing the unifying principle.
Yeah, you are. So, but that's
So
okay.
that's what I was
So
kind of
what
wondering
happens
with.
if you have a brand you love, right? Is the
Mhm.
unifying principle going to ruin it? Absolutely not in your case, because you downloaded it. So it's just going to be more clarity
That's what I'm looking for.
to build your community around, because we're not really building community around our offerings. I mean, we are sort of, but it's way more lasting.
That's what I'm looking for, is that depth, and what you shared with your testimonials is they had the depth to
Yeah.
put all the modalities and tweak it in a few words. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for. That's what I mean when I did the brand without knowing the full message.
Yeah. That's right.
And
It's
I've been
okay.
kind of
You
working
can
through
do
it.
it that
But
way. It's all
that's what I
right.
was
I mean,
wondering.
basically, I did it that way. I just was downloading these brands, and then I was like, wait, there's this thing 20 years later. Right. Oh,
Thank you.
you're welcome. I hope you decide to join us, Amy.
I did.
Oh, good. All right. Well, you'll let me know if you want a soul clarity drawing, Nicole clearing kind of thing, or oh yeah, you can get in on with me to like brainstorm on how that your unifying principle relates to your brand. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You can
But the
write,
drawing,
when you get
cool.
the letter, you can write it back and say, I'd like to, whichever one you want, and then I'll put you in on that list. Sherelle. I feel like we should make up a song since I don't know one.
Since you wanted more questions, I am still in such a great space between me and the quantum. And it's like every day I find something new, and I remember something that might be anywhere from 2 weeks ago to 50 years ago.
Yes.
It was a click into the quantum. I listened to an old tape, the first quantum tape I ever had from Gene Houston. And it's like 30 minutes. I've played it like every day. It's just so awesome. And there's a word I picked up around the quantum 3 years ago, because there was this energy there that I was connecting with that I decided was my quantum self. It's my, and as I was reading this thing from Jean, or listening to it, she just kind of flashed through going, and then you have your human self and your quantum self. And I was like, oh my God, it didn't even dawn on me 25 years ago when I first played her stuff and worked with her. And it's just astounding. So I'm guessing I have to think about how that comes out in English as a unified principle.
Well, I mean, definitely the quantum is involved.
Yeah. And there's the limitless light that comes in the quantum, which I find
that's beautiful
astounding.
too. Yeah.
And the thing that drives me partially
Less.
is the explanation that within physics, at this point, after hundreds of years of
Yeah, fine.
physics in the church, almost every major scientist who is employed is in high corporate or high military, except for quantum, because they don't understand it and they don't want it in there. And the people who are, so it's like they're splitting them out, because the quantum is going to be the better of the two and will slow down the absurdity of our corporate world and military world. So yay.
Yay. Well, I feel like, next week you'll be able to really just feel into it. That's the thing about the time together and the space. Because we're not looking for something really complex. It's really the resulting thing is tiny, right? It might be a word. It might just be one word that you get out of 3 days, but it's a resonant reflection of your essence.
Yeah.
And you might find another word that ties quantum and light or whatever, limitless light. There might be another word that comes in there. So it's just, I'm going to write a letter out to the school people and say, please do plan to show up. I do think that this might be the most important thing we do all year.
Well, and for me, this year has just, it's been like a wave, and moving me away from the muddy water, so to speak. No offense to Jazz. And into where my world lives. And
yep.
Very excited. So yes, everyone should be there.
Everyone should be there.
Everyone
those who will be the perfect ones.
Yes.
It'll all be good. Yeah, I have a client now that she's just so inspiring to me. She did it a week long at her house. She has the farm out in Germany, and only one person came, but she was so up about it. And the person was so perfect, and then is going to end up working with her for a whole year anyway. And it's just like, the one person, it was really important that she come alone. That just is the way it happened, and that's inspiring. And then she did another one and like 4 people came, and I thought, well, it doesn't really matter how many people show up, though it's always nice when more the merrier. It's the ones that know that they're supposed to be there. That's why the way that we express what's our unifying principle is so important. People won't know the exact details or understand everything that's going to happen there. They just need to know they trust you to engage with them, because what you're about is that unifying principle. What you're about is this. So we know if we go to Sherelle, we're going to get some kind of quantum thing, and it's going to have something to do with limitless, and there's something about light. And
yes.
And then we trust Sherelle is going to make it fun, and we're going to learn some things. And so we don't need to know the whole thing. We just need to know that we want that kind of shift. That's a quantum shift. That's from here suddenly to there, boop, without seemingly moving through this part.
Well, in the quantum, there is no space.
Right.
You go from here to there, but they're there.
They're right there. Okay, I gotcha.
And what you just said is really what's been bubbling up for me, because I was thinking, okay, I need to do this big event, and we'll do dreaming, and we'll do this, and we'll do that. And we can, and we'll do some things, but every person who comes will come for the part they need. They'll get.
Thank you. Right.
Not everybody's going to I don't know, exactly. Go take over the Pope or something.
Right. They're going to get what they came to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
So,
all right. Yeah. Thanks. Hey, Susan.
Hello. Well, I just wanted to say, I feels so peaceful right now. It's like I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that from my you know, for me it's spiritual, Christian, you know, discernment, meditation, etc. That the peace that passes all understanding.
Mhm.
That we're not, you know, the little brain that's still trying to figure it all out has yielded,
Yeah.
you know, to,
Yeah.
and that's a
That's a
brain.
great thing.
Yeah, and that's a brain functioning issue too between the hemispheres. That's interesting. But I mostly wanted to, Sherelle, can you hear me? I wanted to read you my business card from a couple of years ago, which has a quote on the back. I don't think, no, you won't be able to see it. Quote on the back from Albert Einstein. It says, everything should be as simple as possible, but not simpler.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, that's so good. You gotta send, oh, we gotta post that up in somewhere, okay? In our
Okay, I can take a picture of it and post it somewhere.
Okay, please
Yeah.
do.
use a
That
And
would
it's
lot.
in
be
beautiful
everyone.
type. It's a beautiful typeface. Oh,
Nice.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
kind of saw
anyway.
it for a second there.
Yeah, but I can't make it. Let's
Yeah.
see.
That's
Yeah.
okay. You can take, it's all right. We don't worry about it. We'll see
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
later.
because I have a fake background. It never
Yeah.
works with those.
I
So.
use a lot of quotes from Einstein.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite ones was, the reason we have time is otherwise we do everything at once. I'm like, that so expresses my world.
Well, and he was actually sent to special school, and he couldn't pay attention in a normal classroom.
Yeah.
And his mother told him it's because he's a genius.
Yeah.
Mhm. And she was
That-
right.
Yeah. She
And now
was, yes,
we have
absolutely.
letters for that now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But no, I'm just really, it's funny when you find the thing you've been looking for. Other people have alluded to this, but it's and you said it's just one word. You know, you'll probably end up with just one word. And I totally get that. This isn't the chortling and
Yeah.
banging around. It's the silence in the that was we couldn't find. And there you go.
There you go. I could see it though in your face as I was talking to you.
Uh,
I was like, something's going on with Susan. She's having like an epiphany. Any other questions,
it's a
thoughts?
constant epiphany with you.
Constant? Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Anyone else? Cass, Bernadette, Diana, Dr. Vicky, Jeanette, Bernadette? Anyone? Sophia, Judy Wong, Chris? There, I called everyone who hasn't yet talked.
Yes.
You're not forced, okay? It's all right if you want to just, you know, but you know where to find me, and we want you to come next week to our multi-modality marketing.
That's sort of our first roll call.
What?
I said, I think that was the first roll call for the school.
Yeah, right.
We're official.
Like the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, yeah. What's the song? The Mickey Mouse song.
No, it's Cubby, you know, Jeanette. Right? They would call everybody out.
Yeah. Or I always think of it as romper room. I need to get my mirror with the hole in it. I see Susan and I see Bernadette. And we used to always be like, me, you see me. That was so, we wanted to be seen. All right,
Yeah.
folks, I gotta go. Oh, there she is. Hi, Judy. Apparently we have a fly infestation. Does anyone know natural ways besides hitting them to get rid of flies? We don't even know where they're coming from. But suddenly there's like 50 of them in our living room there.
Oh, look at their flight path and you'll find the source.
Well, I kind of think they're somehow crawling in through the windows.
Yeah, but they're attracted to something.
What?
Like a piece of fruit rotting.
No, it's not.
What kind of flies are they?
They are little flies. They're not the big shiny green ones usually. They're like the little dark gray ones.
Little
Like regular house flies
tiny,
or like the
regular
no-see-em type
houseflies, yeah.
things?
Like what?
Regular house flies or they're like the no-see-em type?
No, the
biting?
regular house flies, yeah. And suddenly there's like 50 of them I have to go kill.
Mm.
I'm a murderer when it comes to flies.
Take a piece of gauze and see if you can just scoop them up and send them off somewhere.
Well, they're flying, so I have to wait till they're landing and then I hit them.
Yeah, but where they
But
land.
you could always do what my sister-in-law used to do. She'd take out her vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. I have a vacuum in one hand and a swatter in the other. Apparently you can spray soapy water on them too if they're flying around.
Yeah, then you'll ground them. Yeah. you can
All
kill them.
right, now you know what I'm going to be doing next.
But you'll do it with soul
I
and
think so.
magic.
Maybe.
I do it with passion. I get all my anger out that way.
There you go. See you
Anyway.
soon.
All right.
We'll see you
See you
next
later.
time. You know where to find me if you have any questions.